Hi, my name is Joanna Whitney. I am an intuitive artist, a student of natural law, and an energy healer. And I'm discussing currently the Kybalion Hermetic principles as they are related to natural law and freedom. The reason I feel like it's important right now to study Hermetic principles is because of what's happening in our country, in our world, and to give the power back to the people. Individually, we can empower ourselves by revisiting processes that the ancients did and which were occulted but are now available, and so that we can start to get our minds back. Basically, I notice, I feel myself, I can see my own mind slipping from the extreme amount of distractions that we have in our world. Just think back before we had cell phones. We could be single-minded, but now if we get a text message from someone, we immediately have to stop what we're doing and we answer that text message. And multitasking has become a virtue for jobs, whereas single-mindedness used to be considered sought after. And the thing is can we really be double-minded and be successful? Does not perhaps our double-mindedness actually make it easier for us to compromise our moral principles and do things that we know are wrong, but because we're not paying our full attention to each thing that we're doing, it's easier for us to just do as we're told, fall for fear of financial insecurity, fear that we might get fired or whatever, and then go ahead and do the thing that we know is wrong because we are so distracted. But the distractions are everywhere. It's a constant situation of distraction. And these principles have exercises that go with them to help you to practice them. And so that's what part of why I'm doing this. Because, you know, for me, I'm one person, and I've tried to organize a group of people together to stand up for freedom and be free in the group itself, not be a tyranny. And it has proven to be impossible at this point. So now I'm just reviewing natural law principles so that we can each individually go back to the old ways of becoming single-minded. And I already read the intro in chapter 1 of the Kybalion last time, and I'm going to start on chapter 2. But I'm going to say first that this would be a good time to start a meditation practice. If you don't already have one. And I don't mean a guided meditation using YouTube. I mean a meditation practice of your own, sitting quietly or lying down with your back straight in a chair, or sitting and cross-legged, or however you want to do it, with your eyes closed. You could lock your tongue to the roof of your mouth and close off your energy centers with a mudra so your energy doesn't escape your body. And maybe, you know, turn your eyes upward towards your third eye. And a simple way to meditate is to count backwards from 100 and see the numbers in your head. So this is a brain balancing meditation because it forces you to pay attention with both minds. A lot of times, we meditate and our mind drifts and thoughts come in, and it can be frustrating in the beginning, but to just start out a simple meditation practice, counting backwards from 100, breathing in and out. So, a deep breath into the stomach, and out would be 100. And then the next deep breath in out would be 99. So, maybe 1.5 seconds per in out breath, or 2 seconds, would pretty much be a 20-minute meditation. If that's too much, you can certainly start with 30, counting backwards from 30, or even 10. It really doesn't matter. Just to begin to sit quietly and begin to do a meditation practice where you're engaging both sides of the mind. And that's going to be the beginning of the study of mentalism, to take a hold of your thoughts, to direct your thoughts, and to become an observer of your thoughts, and not be a victim of your thoughts. So that's what I would recommend right now. It's going to take a while for us to get through this book because I have a different perspective on it than a lot of other people, because of my background and what I'll call the mystery school that I'm a part of. So I'm going to have a different perspective, and I'm going to be looking at all kinds of different things, like the derivation of words, so that we can all have a much deeper experience of these principles, and embody them in our daily lives. So now I'm going to turn to page 15. Just want to make sure that's really where I left off. Yeah, introduction. Yep, must have been. So it's chapter 2, and it says the 7 Hermetic principles. And if you look up the word principle in the dictionary, it says a fundamental law. And then if you look up law, it means a binding practice. And it's interesting. You see, this is the first word that I would want people to think about. Fundamental. I haven't looked up the prefix funda, but it is interesting. There are quite a few words in the dictionary, in the English dictionary, that have a suffix of mental. And Mark Passio shared this with us in the early podcasts about government, that the word govern comes from gubernare, Latin, which means to rule over, and ment means mind, to rule over the mind. So, there's all these other words, fundamental, with a suffix of mental. And I really invite people to look into that. If mental means of the mind, and a fundamental law means a basic law, then this does hold true with the Hermetic principles, where mentalism is the first principle, because it would be the basic principle upon which all the other principles lean. for their source material. And this is, true in our language. In the English language, there's over 100 words with the suffix mental or ment, which is very interesting to think about and to try to figure out what that means. And I am going to do that in the later chapters. I'm working on that right now, but this just came up here, a fundamental law. So a basic law that is binding and mental is part of it. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open, the Kybalion. So understanding is another word. You could look up the word understand in Black's Law Dictionary and discover that when I say I understand, it means that I agree and I stand under. So with that, stand under the principle. So he who knows these understandingly. So he who knows these principles and stands under them. Meaning, like if you imagine yourself standing under principles, that means that all of your various personalities are united under these principles and therefore possesses the key, the magic key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. And again, magic, magic, magi, magician, and the magician card, in the magician card in the tarot, the magician is using all of the elements, the 4 elements, and the ether to command his will. And that word mag is in imagination. I-mag, I-nate, I-O-N. Or in green language, I-mag, I-nate, I-on. So that really does show the power that we have at our disposal if we can harness our minds. If we become single-minded, which is going to require effort in this world, honestly, right now. It seems to me that the dark occult Luciferian overlords are trying to make us distracted in every area of our lives so that they could have more control over us. But I can take that power back by setting aside 20 minutes in the morning and at night to meditate. And there are other exercises that I will bring to your attention as we go along. But starting out with meditation and a short meditation in the morning and at night will be a good place to start. The 7 Hermetic principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based are as follows. 1. The principle of mentalism. 2. The principle of correspondence. 3. The principle of vibration. 4. The principle of polarity. 5. The principle of rhythm. 6. The principle of cause and effect. 7. The principle of gender. These 7 principles will be discussed and explained as we proceed with these lessons. A short explanation of each, however, may as well be given at this point. 1. The principle of mentalism. The all is mind. That's in capital letters. The universe is mental. The Kybalion. So, think about this. Okay, the mind, we may think that the mind is only in the brain, but actually the mind exists in the heart and in the gut as well. So the all is mind. The universe is mental. I mean, what does that actually mean? I would recommend meditating on that. So in other words, while you are counting backwards, you might ask the creator to reveal to you something about what this actually means. Because to me, it doesn't mean that I have the power to use my imagination and visualization and mantras to make things happen. I've tried all of these things and I have not actually succeeded. I have succeeded in doing certain mental exercises and coming from extremely dark, negative place where I originally came from and becoming optimistic over a long period of time. In addition, I have used other methods and created a more positive situation out of a situation that could have been very negative. But it's not like what Hollywood might want me to believe it's like. And that's also a spell that they've put on us that, you know, my powers I should be able to manifest physical products with my powers. I do find that in combination with moral behavior, I am a good manifester. I can't just practice meditation and these other techniques and also lie, cheat, and steal or try to get over on other people or harbor negative thoughts towards other people or make negative spells that cause harm to other people and attract good things to myself. With the combination of do unto others as I would have others do unto me and these mental manifestation tools, I have brought into my life wonderful solutions, or I have opened the portal to wonderful solutions, or I have sown seeds of positivity that I can reap great harvest from. It does require that I have a great respect and awe for the all. But let's look again at the all is mind, the universe is mental. I mean, they're going to go more into this in a few minutes, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of reminds me of like as if I'm an ant walking on a TV screen. Like it's almost too big for my mind to comprehend. And it's not really possible for me to make it too simple. But I can take the responsibility of the reign over my thoughts. And from that point, all good things have followed. The principle embodies the truth that, quote, all is mind, end quote. It explains that the all, in caps, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the terms of, quote, the material universe, end quote, the, quote, phenomena of life, end quote, quote, matter, end quote, quote, energy, end quote, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses is spirit, in caps, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable. Both were in caps. but which may be considered and thought of as an universal, infinite, living mind, all in caps. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all, in caps, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole and in its parts or units has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being, which is in quotes, because I believe that's a quote from the Bible. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which, without such explanation, are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. So I'm just going to stop there for a second. So the all is unknowable by my tiny human mind. However, I can align myself to the all using spiritual principles, of which natural law, do unto others as I would have others do unto me, is the main morality, and also service, which is service is helping others, putting others' needs ahead of my own, but not in a self-deprecating way, nor in a way of my putting my agenda or trying to manipulate through my agenda by helping, by being of service. Service is me actually helping another person the way they would like to be helped. This is a principle which guarantees a favorable result and aligns me with the spirit. So I may not be able to know and understand the all, but I can clear away energetic waste products in my spirit as that came as a result of bad behavior on my part, so that I can align myself clearly with the all and therefore walk in the light of the all without understanding it, without knowing it. I can know it as it relates to me, but it is unknowable. However, it is what I would call good. It is pro positivity and life and growth. I had an experience where I have this shed out back, and I walked into the shed about 3 or 4 months after we had built it, and there was a tiny sprout coming up through the floorboards of the shed. There's no light in the shed. It was completely albino, this little sprout, and it was reaching towards maybe a tiny pinhole of light in the roof of the shed. To me, that is exemplary of the all, life force, striving for life no matter what happens. So I can align myself with that through morality and through spiritual contemplation and action through helping my brothers and sisters in a compassionate way. Okay, where did I stop? I'm just gonna jump in here. An understanding of this great Hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The Hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws, instead of using them in a haphazard manner. With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, quote, unquote, power, unquote, and matter, quote, matter, unquote, and why and how all these are subordinate to the mastery of mind. So that's a good place to pause for a minute. Energy, power, and matter are under the control of the mind. I'd like them to be under the control of my mind. I would like my energy, my power, and my matter to be under the control of my mind, or the all, but not under the control of dark Luciferian overlords who want to rule me like a slave. And so that's why I'm taking matters into my own hands, and I'm going to do what I can do to get control of my mind, my thoughts, so that I live in the system, but I can live in the system and live outside of their rulership if I have control over my energy, my power, and my matter. And even so, you know, I may not have that much mental strength, but I can have a relationship with my understanding of the all, the creator, such that my alignment with that power annihilates any attempt by other beings who may or may not be human in their attempt to control my mind, my power, my energy, and my matter. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ages ago, quote, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." And these words are as true today as at the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. So I'm going to stop there for today. That's only the first principle in the second chapter, and we're just doing a review of the principles right now, but I think that's a lot to think about. I don't really want to race through this because there is so much to consider here. And I want to give people a chance to have their own experience with this. I'm not a master at this, I don't believe. I mean, I have experienced many things that this book says that a master experiences, like a state of neutrality. I have attained that. But I still feel that I am but a student and not necessarily an adept. So this study that I'm doing with you right now is really for me. I am doing this as a review to go back and gather up my wild mental hairs that have been triggered by this age of technology that is just rushing away with us all, so that I don't have to be tossed about on the river. Instead, I intend to be a pillar standing that is not shaken. I do not intend to be carried away by someone else's plans for me. I intend to be aligned with the all. So that's why I'm revisiting these principles again.